Mr. Mehul Pandya, Managing Director and Group CEO, CareEdge Ratings. Mr. Mehul Pandya is the Managing Director and Group CEO of CareEdge. Over the years, Mehul Pandya has successfully incubated and nurtured the company's business in India and abroad. He is a member of the Board of Directors for all subsidiaries of CareEdge, while also being the Vice Chairman of the Association of Credit Rating Agencies of Asia. He also serves on the board of Association in Indian Rating Agencies and contributes towards US-India trade promotion by virtue of his position on the board of USIIC. A technocrat with a management background, Mr. Pandya is also a CFA charter holder from CFA Institute, USA. Over the years, he has attended various leadership programs at IIMA and the High Potentials Leadership Program at Harvard Business School as well. Prior to joining CareEdge, he worked with a state-level financial institution in Gujarat for about 4 years and was instrumental in setting up as an house credit rating cell for the screening of lending proposals. He has worked as a consultant for the Asian Development Bank and conducted various training programs on credit risk analysis in India and abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mehul Pandya, Managing Director and Group CEO, CareEdge Ratings. Mr. Mehul Pandya will be speaking on the future landscape of the credit rating agencies in India. Hello, sir.
Dr. Satya Brahma, the entire organizing team of India Leadership Awards, all the dignitaries present over here. A very good morning to all of you. In any award functions which I would have attended, rating industry is some kind of a unique and niche industry. While it could be having an all-pervasive presence in the functioning of India's financial landscape, but at the same time, as far as the sheer size of the industry is concerned, is just one of the tiniest segment of the entire thing, which is usually dominated by the likes of the big banks and the other financial institutions. But nevertheless, the kind of importance, the kind of value addition which is coming from ratings, that makes it one of the key integral part of the financial landscape of any country. So first and foremost, I thank the entire organizing team and principally Dr. Satya Brahma to having given me this opportunity of interacting with all of you. This also gives me and our team at CareEdge a significant confidence in terms of stating and continue to do what we feel is right. The key aspects for any rating agency is to what extent they are able to create with their own decisions the tools, the benchmarks, which act as the anchor points for informed decisions by the investors. It is also important for a rating agency to have the requisite confidence in taking the right decisions, if I were to put it, calling a spade a spade. Turning just now to the topic which has been given to me, that if this is the landscape, if this is the background in which we have to operate, what are the kind of challenges, what are the kind of opportunities that lie for us. I'm proud to be a part of this industry. I have been with this industry since more than 2 decades now, and the industry itself is slightly more than 3 decades old. Having traversed this journey in this industry, I can state that it is one of the most difficult industry to be in. And why so? Because you are always remembered for one call which can go wrong out of 1,000 calls which could be taken. Nobody is interested if 999 calls are taken correctly because it's a prognostic capability. But one single call, if it goes wrong, you are remembered for that. But that in itself inculcates in the minds of the people who work in this industry the kind of seriousness and a sense of accountability, not only to the investor fraternity and all the other stakeholders, but an accountability to themselves as well. Because your decisions emanate from the courage and your skill sets which you would have developed over a period of time. I firmly believe that this industry, which has completed more than 30 years in this country, is bound to stay relevant for many more decades to come. And what gives me this confidence is primarily because if this nation, which is aspiring to be a 5 trillion economy in the few years' time, and could be a 10 trillion economy in few decades, if that were to happen, the financial system has to remain absolutely robust and ingested with absolutely strong governance. And for that to happen, independent, unbiased opinions from the rating agencies, they are a prerequisite. This is precisely why I feel that the uniqueness which the rating agencies bring to the table, that shall remain relevant for this country's economic march. What are the kind of opportunities that lie for us? Before I turn to the challenges, let's have a look at the opportunities. First and the foremost, the kind of development which the bond markets in this country are likely to witness is going to be very significant. And when I'm saying this, I'm also candid to state that the development of the debt market, principally the bond market in this country, has been debated in seminar after seminar since more than 3 or 3.5 decades. Every single time, white papers would be presented, roadmap would be created, but there are still challenges which are lying ahead. But nevertheless, it is also a fact that we have come a long way. So the opportunity which I am witnessing is the bond markets are likely to grow, and we have just seen the beginning of that. We have been included in the global bond indices, which had been a long pending expectation. And this, I believe, should be leading to phenomenal upsurge in the corporate bond issuances as we move ahead. Because there has always been the fact that the government borrowings had been crowding out the corporate bond issuances. But I believe that in the years to come, we could be witnessing a change in this. The second opportunity is the sheer explosion of the data which is available. There is a dichotomy in this. I'll correlate this when I speak on the other aspects. But first, let's address this thing. A sheer explosion of data, what it means. You are bombarded with information. Today, you can no longer state that the relevant information was not available to you. GST collections, crop patterns, any industry we take, from what the kind of data which was available 2 decades back and the kind of data that today, if it could be available to you, there is a sea change in that. The skill set lies in harnessing this information to your advantage. So that's a clear opportunity. The third opportunity is in the ESG space. I believe it is not a fad. ESG is not a fad. It is not something about which you are duty-bound to speak at the conferences to set the tone right. No. We have come a long way on that. It is here to stay, and the corporates have to absorb the total concepts of ESG as far as their functioning and governance is concerned. Some time back, our regulator became the first globally to come out with a set of comprehensive regulations on ESG ratings. That is something which is unheard of globally. But kudos to the regulator to have come out on that. And it defines the rating scale for that. It defines what kind of products which the rating agencies could be offering. And here in this case, this is different from credit rating. Over a fortnight back, the regulator has given the license to around 5 ESG rating providers in this country, and we are one of them. Why I believe this shall be an important element is because every single thing in the financial landscape has to be seen in the context of not only what is happening in our country, it's also important to absorb what's happening globally. It is on this aspect, especially when the global investors, they keep on delving deeper and deeper into the ESG aspects, that it is heartening to see that the Indian corporates have also risen to the occasion, and we are seeing greater objectivity and reporting in the various standards which are underlying the ESG assessments. The fourth opportunity which I am clearly visualizing, and I'm quite excited about it, is something that we have taken the next steps in the field of sovereign rating. I believe, I'm quite confident about the fact that most of the professionals sitting over here, they would have been hearing about the perceived approach, arguably a biased approach of the global rating agencies when it comes to the assessments of the emerging economies, including India. I'm not here to criticize anybody, but let me state, there indeed is a need for differentiation as far as the approach in the assessment is concerned. We cannot overlook that fact. It is important And what we are trying to bring to the fore are few key elements. First and the foremost thing is that transparency. As a rating agency, we believe that the assessor and the assessee, they both should know how the assessment is being done. And it is in this area where we feel more work needs to be done. And through our approach, we are trying to bring that thing. So the first is transparency. The second is consistency. What you apply to one economy, same parameters need to be applied to the other economies as well. You cannot cherry pick. Yes, if there are 100 different data sets which are there, and if certain data set could be missing in some of the economy because of the reporting issues or whatever, that's fine. But you still have 90-odd data sets to work upon. But the core aspects of the assessment, they need to be applied on a consistent basis. The third is the localized approach. What do you mean by localized approach? In our kind of an industry, and for that matter, in any industry which could be of relevance, it is important to have your pulse on the ground. You cannot helicopter drop or parachute drop people for few hours, enable them to make tangential, superficial kind of assessments and fly off. We believe it is important that the assessments, they need to be given a due credence and importance. And you need to take time out to understand the perspective of be it the government or any corporate that you're trying to assess and analyze. That's the localized approach. And the fourth element is authenticity. What is authenticity in this? Authenticity is when the data is presented to you, how do you authenticate and validate it? It is extremely important to arrive at the right assessments basis this. That's exactly what we are trying to bring about. These are the kind of opportunities which I'm witnessing for the industry as a whole. Let's just turn the page to what kind of challenges which are lying before us. First and the foremost, as I alluded to in the beginning of my remarks, this is a serious industry. And why this is a serious industry is one of the most regulated industries globally. It is also one of the industries, and full credit to our regulators, that we have witnessed a deep dive into not only the rating agencies, they need to report, but even on the action terms, there are regulations which need to be adhered to. So if that kind of a thing is there, heavy regulatory oversight, it presents significant challenges for the management to put the things in the right order, take the right actions. In the process, even if the compliance cost could be increasing over a period of time, so be it. But you just have to adhere to it. But at the same time, you are also addressing another strata of the stakeholders which are in the form of investors. Equity investors, say for example, they could be concerned in terms of the rising cost, but you just have to take care of that. Right? So that's one of the challenges for the industry. The second set of challenge which I foresee is when significantly large information is made available to you. I presented it as an opportunity. Now I'm presenting it as a challenge as well. When so much of an information is there, how to base it, how to find the relevance out of it for your decision making. That becomes the key. For that to happen, the right kind of data architecture, the right kind of tech-led interventions, they are extremely necessary, and for which we have to keep on investing and we have to keep on augmenting our processes. The third set of challenge is taking the right decisions even when some of the critical inputs are not available to you. Because investors today, they are much more vigilant as compared to what they were a few decades back. They ask granular questions. They are expecting the right kind of analysis to flow in. They need to be educated. They also want you to see that how the global dynamics are getting integrated as far as your assessments are concerned. That also presents the challenge in the form of being agile and confident enough to take the decisions at times with limited critical inputs available to you. As I said, every single decision, one way or the other, you could be held accountable for that. But you just have to take it. That's a challenge for us. And of course, with this, it also presents a challenge in the form of continuously working on the rating processes and on the rating quality. In the world of AI, in the world of ML, how best these tools could be harnessed to your advantage, there lies the key of how you're going to differentiate vis-a-vis the others. And an opportunity, which could be a challenge also, could be in the form of how do you work with the different interests from a diverse set of stakeholders. Each could be having their own priority. But as a rating agency, how you are able to integrate those priorities and take them as your action points and keep on evolving products, services, and other value additions from your side, which could be helping the entire investor fraternity. So ladies and gentlemen, I believe that there are exciting times ahead, not only for the financial industry in this country, but also us as the rating agency. Once again, I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Brahma and his team for giving us this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mehul Pandya, for insightful talk. Now I request Mr. Satya Brahma on stage to present a memento as a mark of respect to him.